Okay, so just a couple of housekeeping things. Well, everybody here is a regular so far this morning, I think, except for Rachel. Rachel, if I just don't, you've been here before and I just don't remember seeing your moniker, I'm so sorry. But I know I do have to make a super conscious effort. I'm making the conscious effort. Dang, Twitch. So anyway, yes, well, thank you for joining us, Rachel. We really appreciate that you're here with us this morning. Oh, you got me from a search on YouTube. Yay! That's awesome. Oh, that's cool. We love that. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank you guys. The Kickstarter is going very, very well. We're up to almost $42,000 now, which is cool, because that gives me the ability to go ahead and print. Let me type it in and see what it's up to this morning. That gives me the ability to go ahead and print those extra books. And we are, I am desperately working behind the scenes. Yeah, 42,269. Woo! We are desperately working behind the scenes to get everything done and get it off to the printer in the hopes that it will get to you all before December. My goal is end of August or beginning of October. And I think if you guys cross your paws, cross your tails, cross your wings, cross whatever you got to cross, but we're going to get it. So also really thank you so much to Teapot and to Maureen. They are my, I don't even know. They are the sentries at my gate, and I really appreciate you all so much. So, hey Amy, good morning, and there Amy is. So, say thank you to Amy, because she's the one that keeps me fairly sane behind the scenes. And I'm like, Amy, I need this done right now. She's like, okay, no problem. So, anyway, so thank those ladies very, very much. Joel is back. It's just that he is Panagiata. Maureen's gonna cross her eyes. Yes, I am, because you know what? I don't even know what I was thinking that I didn't put it on there. And then a whole bunch of y'all wrote me and was like, are they going to be in ebook form? Yeah, they are. My bad. I forgot to put it on there, but I'll get it out today. What? Your birthday is Thursday, Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday to Lisa. Yay. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? Little C, big C. Yahoo, Joel is back. Now here's the only thing about that. Joel is back, but instead of being in my same time zone, he's now 3 hours behind because he moved to the West Coast. So, yeah. Hey, Nikki. So there you have it. All right, we're gonna get started, and it was kind of a kooky thing that came out this morning, which is this message is for those of you who either have dyslexia or somebody very, very close to you has dyslexia. So can anybody claim this? And if it's not specifically dyslexia, it is a diagnosed learning challenge. That's the very first thing that came out this morning. So I want to see who can claim this. Either you have dyslexia or some other diagnosed learning problem. Okay, there we go. Cherry Sylvie, little C, big C. There we go. Okay, and that's why they call it being psychic. So here's the message for you all this morning, which is Road Runner. If he catches you, you're through. Road Runner, who in my deck is the there we go. The Knight of Swords, which is courage in action. So okay, Sylvie, or okay, Rachel, great. Okay. Hey, Mary Lynn. So not great that your mom has dyslexia. That's not what's great. Let me wait for my camera to get, and now my camera is going to be funky. Okay, hold on. My camera will adjust here in a second. We hope. Oh my God. Good job. Listen, right? Hey, Axie. Lisa. Okay. So I'm really hoping that my camera will straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. I don't know what to do if it doesn't. We're gonna hope. So let me put this over again and see if this helps to readjust it. Does this help? I don't even know, y'all, but I'm gonna go ahead with the readings because, okay, my daughter. Okay, so right. Hopefully it will readjust. Let me do some wonky things to it, and maybe it'll get with the program right here. Hold on a second, y'all. You know, this is like, for a perfectionist like me, this is hell. Just so you know, it's living hell. Congratulations to we're back. Praise Buddha. Okay. Oh my God, congratulations. Cum laude. Wow. You're a proud mama, you know you are. Okay, so let me get back to the dyslexia. Either you or someone very, very close to you has it. Your card for today is the Roadrunner, and it's the Knight of Swords. Now, what I'm really mostly drawn to for y'all this morning, thank you, yay. Axie says, yes, parfait. I think parfait means perfect, but when you say parfait to a Southern girl, she's like, yummy, I'll take a strawberry one. I'd like a blueberry one. I'd like a chocolate one. Okay. So, all right, Cherry, I'm getting to this message. Let me get this message, honey. Okay, so for those of you that could take, could take the dyslexia, and you or the person very close to you, or it has to be a diagnosed learning challenge. So I'm really drawn. For those of you, I'm trying to help y'all understand my parfait buffet. Oh my God, Maureen! Now, see, you had to get me off the track. Now I'm thinking about parfaits. Especially the orange ones with orange jello. Sweet bejeebas. Okay, so when I read for y'all, I do intuitive tarot, and this is my own tarot deck, the Arc, right? I know you guys are all familiar, but Rachel, you're new to us. And so I sometimes it will be the card will be a mix of the animal ally and the traditional Rider-Waite tarot card meaning. Sometimes it'll just be one thing on the card. It might be the environment or a color or a whatever, but I'm really, really drawn to the Knight of Swords for you all. Cherry, okay. And so what that means is if it's you that has the learning thing, you're being called to weave this into your reality. And if you, like Cherry, your daughter has autism, and so hey Amanda, hey Jane, where you, not that you're responsible for, or you might be responsible for it, but you are very integrated into their learning process or into their life, helping them move through life. Then hey Danny, the Knight of Swords could be very helpful to you now, because here's the thing. The Knight of Swords is courage in action. And it was made very clear to me this morning when I was sitting, in my little sacred space and just like trying to see what's going to go on for y'all today, which, by the way, let me just tell you what I did. I did a reading for one of my besties the other day. And she had a really, really big news she hadn't told me. She said, I didn't want to tell you. I wanted to wait till we got together because we trade readings, right? And so what I did was I pulled cards ahead of time. And that's what I've done today. I've got 5 cards laid out. And the reason that I'm doing that is so that you all can hopefully come to know that, or accept, or whatever, that there is no such thing as time and space. And it doesn't matter whether, I'm right here in this moment and feeling you guys, and, then I sync up with the cards, or the cards sync up with me, or the animal allies sync up with me. You can do all this ahead of time. I used to do this with clients all the time. When I had an office, I'd leave one afternoon, and I'd shuffle, and I'd set my intention. I'd clear the cards, I'd set the intention, and then flip a card. And that card would be sitting on the pile when I came in the next day, and it was for the first client. 98% accuracy. It was just awesome. And I would do that with books also. It was just a fun game I played, but it was really fun and really accurate. So, hey, Amy, good morning. So when we talk about courage in action, what was told to me this morning is that it really is about that anything that you've been afraid to try to start. And I also feel like for those who actually have the dyslexia or the diagnosed learning challenge, you're actually in the middle of something and you're freaked out because you're like, I can't see this through to the end because of what's going on, or you're terrified you can't see this through to the end because of what's going on with your learning. You think it's getting in your way. You think it's going to hold you back. Okay, Cherry, you're starting a cleaning business. Okay. So it's not going to hold you back because you have to be courageous. And what that means is this. Last year, not that the time matters because there's no such thing as time and space, but last year, I was doing business with somebody, and that's cool, Kimberly. Yeah, it can be a challenge, Jane, that's for sure. So, okay, hold on, I want to get back to that, Jane, with you. Something just came through, but here's the thing. So, I was doing business with this person, and they kept sending me all this estimated this, and this estimated this, and it's based on this and this and this. And y'all, math is just not my thing. It's just not. I mean, I really do still count on my fingers and toes sometimes if it's to add 7 and 5. Like I have to sit there and go, okay, 7 plus 3 is 10. And then there's 2 more. Oh, that makes it 12. In the time that y'all would go, like, that's 12, Bernadette. No, I know that about myself. And that's why I have surrounded myself with not just a CPA, but a forensic CPA. I'm not playing because I run a business. My numbers need to be right. I need to be able to project. I need to be able to budget. I need to be able to do all these things that business people do, right? And we do this in our own life. So it was the first time ever I ever said that to anybody because she was getting really frustrated with me and why I couldn't get my CPA. Well, actually I did have my CPA look at it one time and she was like, this is hieroglyphics, what this person is doing. The math doesn't even make sense. Ask her what she really means. So this person took great issue with me, and she was like, I don't even remember what she said. You're just trying to gum up the works and solve so this doesn't move forward. And I'm like, look, I want this to go forward, but I told her, I said, I have a learning problem when it comes to math. I really do. And I'm asking you to give me some patience while I work it through with my CPA, because even she didn't understand how this is written. Nobody's questioning your integrity. Nobody's questioning anything. We are saying we don't understand. And I'm going a step further saying that Nikki, girl with the math, right? And so, Lisa, yeah. Well, ADHD is a learning thing, right? That's part of the I guess the fallout of that. But we'll talk about the ADHD. I've got the perfect thing for that. So anyway, where I was going with that is when she could hear me, and I was like, look, I have a learning problem when it comes to math. That's why I do this and this and this. And so you're being called to you're really being called to courage in action, which really means first knowing and believing that whatever this thing is that's holding you back or holding the people right next to you back, okay, if you have dyslexia, you have dyslexia. If you have autism, you have autism. If you have this, you have this. If you have ADHD, you have this. Okay. And okay. But now, while working on getting whatever it is you need to get, it's more important and mostly important at this moment that you believe and trust that you can see whatever this thing is to the end, to its conclusion, or to build something that doesn't have a conclusion. Like my business, somebody asked me the other day when I was going to retire, I said, I am retired. They went, but you work like all the time. I'm like, no, I do not work all the time. I sit and create and make magic all the time. I don't work. That was just the most foreign thing to them, but it's true. That's how I see it. And so you you've just got to know that the whatever your challenge is only going to hold you back if you use it as a crutch, if you use it as an excuse. And so if you've come to a point in what you want to create or what you're in the middle of creating and you're like, and you're about to turn tail and run, don't do that. Find somebody that can help you in the area which you are weakest at. And that's it. Make sure it's somebody you trust. Now, I've known my bookkeeper for 30 years, no joke. She's my whole family's bookkeeper, and we know her. And you know, she told me if she told me the moon was made of cream cheese and we're going, I'd haul it to Publix and get a bunch of Ritz crackers and some chives to mix in all there, and beer and, you know, water and whatever else we're going to take to the moon, right? So, because that's what we do in the South. We eat Ritz crackers and drink beer, no joke. Usually with oysters on them, or the Captain's Club crackers. That's better with oysters, but you get what I'm saying. Saltines, some people, I don't like them. But anyway, okay. So that's the story, which is you're not being chastised. You're just being told no excuses, because it's time for you to be courageous. Because whatever this is that you're thinking about, holy guacamole, if you will just have the courage, if you will just charge forward like the Knight of Swords, my gosh. And, and listen to this that just came in. Incoming! You're going through this process, you're going to discover another skill set that you didn't even know you had. How about them apples? And that skill set is actually going to be more supportive to your success in whatever you're doing than the math, or even whatever it is you don't get, whatever you're not strong at. It's going to be more supportive to making the business or the life change or the whatever you're doing, whatever direction you're going. It's going to be instrumental in making that more. Okay. There you have it. Okay. So, all right. So there you have saltines and cocktail sauce. Lord, girl, and an ice cold beer. You know what I'm saying? But I love me some horseradish sauce. That horseradish stuff. Oh, I could just eat horseradish right out of a jar. It's sad but true. Okay, so Michelle, you like those apples. Excellent. All right, so moving on, was just thinking about the classes to take after graduation. Okay, cool. All right, so everybody's hopefully received that message, and now we're going to move on. Okay, so the next one is, you know, when a message like iced tea, just so you know, iced tea. And I have my water here too, because that's also what we do in the South. We're two-fisted drinkers. Just imagine these are beer cans, or, well, bottles. I don't drink out of cans. And it's been 100 years since I had a beer. I talk a lot of nonsense about that. And in my younger years, you could usually catch me with a beer bottle in my hands, but not so much in the last umpteen years. But so here's the intro. Rosa? Geez, sorry. Oh my goodness. So Axie on the tea, I do the classic half and half. And it's not even really half and half. I only use like a tiny bit of sugar, but I also use turbinado sugar, the raw cane sugar. I like the taste better. So, but it is cold English breakfast tea. It's black tea. And the caffeine rating is like, the caffeine rating isn't even a number. It's just a picture of a cat with its hair all out like that and those big bulgy eyes. That's the caffeine rating of this. But anyway, so it is yeah, sorry, Rose, I'm glad you're with us. Okay, so I know this is going to resonate with a bunch of y'all if you're willing to admit it. And you don't have to admit it in the chat. You don't have to, but just know this is for you. And it's really kind of I had to question this with the Animal Allies when they sent me this, because it really could seem like that's not a real reading. That's just because obviously the people that, you know, watch or do this want to do this or that, but it's not, y'all. Scout's honor, girl, and I was a Girl Scout. Yes, I was. A Scout's honor. This is a message. So for this is all right. Take care. Take care, Cherry. So thank you for coming. Love to see you again. So this is for anyone who wants to start. Nope, those are the wrong words. Who wants to be a professional psychic medium or tarot reader. Those are like this, the people that want to do that. And also, but in a smaller way, for people that want to do alternative healing, such as Reiki, theta healing, anything like that. This doesn't have anything to do with people that are massage therapists or people that do acupuncture or herbal or are nutritionists. This is straight up energy work. And so this really is for y'all. Now, some of you guys may be, there we go. Okay, spiritual life coach. Yeah, that could have to do with it because, certainly your intuition is gonna be part of it. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, C. Canuel, like Noel. The first Canuel, the angels did say. They wrote a song about you, C. Canuel, just Okay. I know Amy, and I was thinking, God, if Amy's on the if Amy is on this live, she's gonna it's just crazy, but it really did come, and it's super important, and here's why. Last week I gave a reading to a whole family, and I thought I was going to have to pick them up off the floor with a paint scraper. I don't know why they booked a reading. They said it was a fun family thing to do. Most of them have never had a reading before, and they were very respectful. So they honored me and my process so much, and just respectful and kind. But I knew going in that there were some for real skeptics, and that's okay. I've been doing this for 1,000 years, and I always trust spirit to bring you the messages that are meant for people at the time. But that day changed their life. It changed their life, the whole lot of them. They will not be able to move through the world now without questioning the nature of what we're taught. Well, a lot of us are taught is reality. Now, I know that about them. And what I can tell you is there are not enough credible, accurate, evidential psychic mediums in this world. And so just so you know, your card, I'm not going to hold it up because I don't want to jack up my camera again. But in my deck, the rhinoceros is the King of Pentacles. So when we take a look at that card, and if we get it down to its components, it is all about, yes, it's about wealth, and yes, it's about power. And I'm really drawn to the word power on that card as pertains to you all that want to be professional psychic medium tarot readers. And you could be a rune flipper, you could be a pendulum person, you could be a tea leaf reader. I'm always fascinated, and you could be a palmist. But really, this is mostly for people that are the whole thing. Like tea leaves is about reading the tea leaves, right? And there is intuition involved, but that's not the same as mediumship. And doing, tarot is not the same as psychic mediumship, but it is if you'll do intuitive tarot. I like to call it psychic tarot. It's the same diff, right? But there are people that are just very resistant to the word psychic for whatever their reasoning is. Usually it boils down to they don't think they can be or are psychic enough, and they just rely on the cards. Okay. And some people believe that the cards are always more accurate than the actual psychic medium. I don't have any data for that. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that any studies have been conducted on that. So all that said is, yes, right, Lisa, I'm really called to the word power. Now on this card, right? So for those of you just joining us, hey, Sylvie, hey, Amy, it is this card, the Rhino card, the King of Pentacles. Again, I was really, really drawn to the word power. In the traditional Spiritualist National Union, which is the Spiritualist Church, which, interestingly, back in the early 1900s, cresting right into the 1940s, 18% of America, of people living in the United States, identified their religion as spiritualist, not Catholic, not Lutheran, not anything else but spiritualist. So at one time in this country, a very large amount of people, when you take a look at percentages, what percentage of this population is this, or this, that's a really large population. So at one time, more Americans believed in spiritualism, which is, at the end of the day, it's about being able to talk to the dead, so to speak, or to do mediumship. And it is craziness. Yeah, Nikki, we need your channels. So get with the program right there. Oh, I love that. That's cool. Oh my God, I'm going to start. I never go anywhere, so it'll just be my dog. If Nikki wears a psychic reader t-shirt or psychic reader shirt, she says it gets her business all the time. It's only going to give me business with my dog and my cats because I never go anywhere. They'd probably boot me out of Publix if I did that, which is the only other place I go. But, which, by the way, got in a whole slew of the most terrible apple pies I've ever had in my life. It was awful. And that, in the South, you mess up an apple pie, you might as well just go on to cooking jail and don't ever try to cook again because there's something wrong with you. And you've done something against the law. And again, it's a crime against humanity to mess up an apple pie, a crime against humanity. And then if you don't heat up that pie and you don't serve it with vanilla ice cream or some other kind of ice cream you like, oh my gosh, that's a lifetime. That's a life sentence right there. Okay. So all of that said, thank you, Rosa. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Restless. Good morning. Rosa. Okay. Yep. Okay. So here's what I want to tell you about this power thing. So in the Spiritualist National Union Church, which is what the kind of governing body of the Arthur Findlay College in England is, they say a thing like, instead of like we talk about it as meditating and getting into the zone or getting into theta, which is really what you're doing. You're trying to get into the theta state in your brain so that you can receive those messages. And I could go on and on and on about the resonance, the megahertz resonance when you're in theta state is actually the resonance of the Earth's atmosphere, the resonance of the Earth. It also is between a certain megahertz. So really what you're doing is you're syncing up with all of the information. Okay, without going down a whole rabbit trail, they call it sitting in the seat of your power. So whatever word you all have to ascribe to this, the ones that want to be professional psychic medium, readers, tarot flippers, whatever, you've got to do it. This is your wake-up call. You've got to do it. Now, when you take a look at the King of Pentacles and you take a look at a pentacle, it's 5, earth, air, fire, water, spirit. That's a very powerful number to have behind you. And what that was told to me this morning is that you easily use all of your senses, of which there are more than 6. Let me just say that. And you do, but you'll definitely have a sense that is more powerful than the others. Whatever that works out to be for you, that is something that is really, girl, Kimberly, Publix is way better than Kroger. Is way better. Kroger is not a thing. So, hey, Summer Rain, how are you, honey? I think you're new here. If you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Girl, here in the tea on Publix. So now listen, these bad pies were shipped to Gainesville, Florida. So, hey, Chelton or Kelton Leggett. Ooh, I don't want to mispronounce your name, but thank you so much. That's really kind of you to say. So let me go back to this because this is such an important message for y'all that really want to be professional psychic mediums, tarot readers, et al., right? Okay, so you're really being called to work with the rhino for this reason. Any animal that's got horns or antenna have an extra connection, an extra strong or extra powerful connection to the divine. And for you to download those messages for your clients, for yourself, for, your cat, whatever. And that's going to serve you in really good stead because your hang up is you're, this is not to offend anybody, but But for most of you in this group that want to be professional psychic mediums, you're focused on the money. You won't be able to make the money because in your mind, you've got to replace your current gig or however you make your money with this. And you absolutely can over time, but not right now, this very moment today. And if you are already a professional reader, it's so important that you speak up and be heard. Well, like Nikki, she wears the t-shirts, right? Now, I'm not saying go walk up to total strangers and plop a business card in their hand. I'm not saying that. But it's important that you expand the awareness to people that you are a reader and you have a business. And it's also time for you to up your prices. If you are a professional, it is time for you to up your prices. If you want to be a professional, then what needs to happen is you've got to work through whatever your money drama is, because really what your concern should be is, how accurate am I? How accurate am I? My good friend Johnny Sue, she has the Haven Zoo, because it's what you have. She doesn't have a zoo; it's a rescue, and she does all rescue stuff. But she calls it zoo for particular licensing, so on and so forth. And it could be construed anyway. So a month and a half ago, she pings me on Facebook, and she had done a rescue of these 2 goats. And now she knows I love goats. Oh my God, do I love goats? Nubian goats in particular. They're the sweetest things ever. And she was told by the lady that she rescued them from that they were pregnant. But these goats, sadly, were so emaciated. Who would have known? So I was like, that one and that one, but maybe not going to carry it through. So guess who's in labor last night in the full moon? The goat that was for sure pregnant. And Johnny Sue sent me pictures. I'm like, that is a big old blob of a goat. And so hopefully last night at some point, I know it was either going to be 2 or 3 a.m. last night or tonight, that goat's going to drop that baby. And I'd be surprised if it wasn't twins. I'd be super surprised if it wasn't twins. So all that being said, and I had a goat that had twins one time. Oh my God, the cutest things ever. And like is my nature, I keep everything until it's too old to stand up anymore. And anyway, those goats were with me for a long, long time. So all that being said, you've got to stop focusing on the money. And Lily, I did that. Hold on, I'll get to that. Hey, Pearl, I'll get to that in just a second. I did that. I'll tell you what I did. You don't want to do what I did, but I totally get that you want to do it for free and tell them you're practicing. Amy did that for a long time. The gal that works with me, Amy, she did that. And now she's charging, and rightly so. So all of that being said, take the focus of money away and go to a place that is more helpful, which is focusing on your accuracy, focusing on getting spirit to send you evidence, because that is how you will build your practice. I actually had to take my list. I make it so hard to find me locally now. Like, you don't even know what you have to. I'm keeping my Google listing, right? You want to do that. You want to make sure you have a Google My Business listing, because that's how local folks are going to find you. I won't go into the whole website stuff and all that. Oh, but I will say, for those of you that pledged the Kickstarter, and thank you so much, I'm doing that free Kickstarter class on July 12th at 2 p.m. It's a 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll start putting that link in the daily readings videos. But anyway, so it has got to. You're welcome, Summer Rain, because this is the thing. It is. You won't have to worry about how much money you're going to make when you're accurate. When you can tell people things you should not know, I'll give you case in point. This poor gal. So, oh my God, I was on my way to Publix. I really was. No joke. And I got a phone call, so I took the phone call. This is Bernadette, because that's how I answer my phone. And she said, "Hi, my name is," and I said, "Ma'am, could you stay on the phone with me for a minute?" She said, "Yes." I said, "I just need to pull over. I'm driving." She said, "Okay." So I pulled over and I said, "You want to hear from your husband who passed over, right?" And then she started crying. I said, "Well, if you could just hang on with me for a minute, I think he's already here and I have a message for you." So she's like, "Okay," because she'd never been to a psychic or a medium ever. And so I said, "He's telling me that you'll know for sure it's him because you used to make him his favorite dessert It was a fruit cake, but not a traditional fruit cake like a Claxton fruit cake with the jelly fruit in it. It's not like that, but it was a fruit cake. She said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I said, okay. I said, I'm showing 2 layers. It's round. It's got dark dots all the way through it. I don't know what the dark dots are. Maybe chocolate chips, maybe dates, maybe something. She said, oh my God. And then it shook her so badly. Just the fact that I would know that. I'm like, but ma'am, isn't that why you were going to pay me? You're going to book a reading and pay me? And she goes, yeah, but I got to be honest. It was a last ditch effort. I didn't really believe. And I said, well, okay, what's going on with the cake? She said, his favorite dessert that I used to make him was a tomato soup cake with raisins in it. Now, before I could think of it, it was out of my mouth. Ma'am, that is truly one of the more, wow, that is some kind of recipe. Ooh. And she laughed. She said, I know. She said, but he's a Southerner, and it was his mom's recipe and his grandma's recipe, and that's what they made during the Depression times. And I'm like, really? So you've got to be, you can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, you will never have to worry about money, and you will have spirits show up. They will stand in line. They'll bring their tents on the other side, like on Black Friday when everybody pitches their tents and they're out there in sleeping bags and whatever because they're going to bum rush Best Buy or wherever in Walmart and get their specials. That is exactly what will happen, because it's so important in mediumship and even in psychic stuff to have the information from the other side. And so you have to develop a relationship with the other side. And if you pledge for accuracy, they'll give you accuracy. They will show up and they will do it. They will give it to you. But when you're holding yourself back over, can I make money at it? That's not helpful at all. So there's the message for that. Now, Lily, let me just say this. When I, bum rusher reader, it's true. So, tomato is a fruit. Ketchup is a smoothie. Barbecue sauce is a smoothie in my book, with onion rings. Girl, beer batter onion rings. That's what I'm all about. I don't know what this is going on lately, but I got craving for beer batter onion rings. Like, you don't even know. Hold on, y'all. I just dumped over my garbage. So all of that being said, Lily, I did that when I wanted to be a reader. I had the opportunity to buy into a very small metaphysical store here in Gainesville. And I'm an overkill person. I can't just make a pan of lasagna. Oh no, I got to make a pan of lasagna that's like that deep, right? And then freeze it forever and send people out with it, whatever. So, savory, right? So all that said, I read 400 people for free in a year until I was convinced that I should charge for it. Now that was overkill. And I probably should have been charging 50 or 60 people in, and only you'll know. But don't hold yourself back, because you don't hold yourself back. Be really honest with yourself. Be really, try to take a look from the outside in to make that leap from practicing to professional. Okay, so I'm going to move on. That was a long message, but it really needed to get out there. Man, it just really, really needed to get out there. So this is, okay. This is, okay. I don't get to choose the messages, y'all. This is for those of you all who have been enablers. You know you were an enabler. You might be an enabler now, but you either are an enabler and know it, or you were an enabler, figured it out, and went on about your merry business and swore never to do that again, figured it out, healed it, whatever, all that. So who can take that? Now you don't have to put it in the you don't have to take the message and put it in the Mary Lynn, you've been given free medium readings for 40 years. Well, listen, you don't have to charge for it if you don't want to. But there is you're welcome, Lily. There is a wow, 5 minutes from 5:55. Wow. So You don't have to charge for it, but for those of you that want to be professional, which means charging for it, that message is for you. Okay. So I just want to say this again. You don't have to sell yourself out in the, yeah, Biddy Tarot. Her site's fantastic. So fantastic. So check out Biddy Tarot. She's got a membership. I think it's like $40 a month that you can join, but I joined it because I'm a business person. And I love to learn from other business people, and I learn from everybody. You guys would be surprised the sites that I belong to, because I learn from people every single day of my life. It's probably one of my greatest pleasures in life is learning. But yes, eating, Jane, that's the next one. Okay, Mary, for sure you're an enabler. Okay, Mother. Okay, so here is the message for you. So what I got was the walrus, which is the 8 of Cups, but inverted. And so when you think about the 8 of Cups, oh my gosh, y'all, sometimes I can be so thick. My God, what was I thinking? No wonder enabler came. Durr, because the 8 of Cups is about walking away from relationships and things or conditions that were never meant to work they were never meant to work. And you did them for whatever reason. For whatever reason. Okay, you don't need that reason anymore. But when it's inverted, that's the challenge of that. And so it is really, Spirit wants you to really hear this morning, that your time for enabling is done. It's done. No matter what you have to do, it's done. Because through that process of enabling, somewhere along the way, you stopped doing for yourself or being concerned about yourself. It's like everything is in servitude to whoever it is that you're enabling, or whoever they are that you're enabling. Done. Zola, you are done. And so, okay, Mary, is there somebody giving you the Ruraz? Is there, hey, Mary, I don't know. Please don't contact me again, message this morning. Okay, I don't know what that means. I haven't seen any trolls this morning. But anyway, all that said, thank you guys for being on the watch out. Oh, and that was the other thing I forgot to say at the beginning. I hope you all know this by now, but not me nor the people that work with me. We're never, ever going to hit you up to do a reading with me. That's just not ever going to happen. So if you see that is Troll Central right there. Those are scammers. They're terrible at what they do. They're terrible. Anyway, I kind of was hoping one was going to be on this morning, only because I was prepared to rip out the stand-up comedy Bernadette, which is not how y'all have ever seen me before, but I can be very sarcastic, and I had a few of my standard zings for hecklers just waiting. Dang it. They never do what you want to, people. Thieves and whatnot, they just never do what you want them to do. Dang it. Okay, so here's the thing about walrus inverted. If y'all have ever seen walrus is walk on land, it looks clunky to us, but it's natural to them. And when they get in the water, they're like a torpedo. I mean, holy guacamole. So whatever this is with this enabling thing, one or two of you are like, you're nail biting, because in your mind, you don't know what they're going to do without you. I imagine they'll do what they did before they knew you. I imagine they'll find somebody else to enable them. There are a lot of people in this world. And yes, now, do not write me or call me or text me and say, you told me to leave my marriage. You told me to leave my relationship. You told me to quit my job. I did not say that. You will never hear me say that. Never. Now, I've read over 65,000 people at this point in my life, in my career, and I can tell you that there are women and men that I've had to, or non-binary, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they identify with, that the abuse needed to come to a stop, and that the only way that I saw as a psychic that was going to happen is if they exited stage right. So it is that time for you to decide how you want to live. And the message that's coming to me is you're like a walrus on land, and you're having a hard time getting your sea legs up under you, which is hey Universal, which is hey Dawn, enabling will cause more grief and troubles in life, just about anything. That is for sure. So however you have to do it, you've got to get away from it. Because let's say that you're like, all right, you know what? I don't want to leave this job. I don't want to leave this relationship. I don't want to do this. Maybe it's somebody in your family. It's kind of hard to leave family, but not hard, depending on the situation. And so there is not one chance in HE double hockey sticks that you will be able to stay in this relationship, heal your own or cure your own or get rid of your own enabler tendencies and stay in that relationship, because that other person is their head is going to spin. When you start putting your foot down and saying no, when you start saying no, this is for me now, or do this or do this or do this, it's Rosa. I recently got out of an abusive, controlling marriage. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So Amanda, who oh, that's funny. I wish I knew who that was. Okay. So, golden finch. Oh, yellow golden finch. Man, I wish we could share pictures in this. I'd love to see that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's your message. And I would really encourage you to look up everything you can about the Eight of Cups. And like on Building Beautiful Souls on my site, I have really different descriptions of tarot. I take it from more a conversational style. All the traditional meanings are in there, but like I teach, I always apply it to like real world scenarios, real life scenarios, because some of this spiritual, esoteric, metaphysical stuff can be a little tough to grasp sometimes, and so I always try to relate it to something. My sister, I don't know. When my sister tried to explain something to me science-based, she'll always say, she was trying to compare three things the other day. She was like, okay, look, Bernadette, it's like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Ross. And I was like, oh, I totally get it, because I know the difference between those stores, right? So I was able to equate shopping to science. It's a talent. What can I tell you? But here's the thing. So I'm going to move on, but serious business, y'all. Enough's enough with the enabling, and you're really being called by spirit to do that, because you're headed for a rockier time than you might imagine. And now's a good time to start, get the jaws of life and extract yourself from whatever that situation that you are trapped in. Just, it's like the metaphysical, spiritual jaws of life. Just crank those bees open and set yourself free. Okay. All right, moving on. Wow. Okay. Well, this is interesting. So here's what I didn't do. When I pulled the cards in advance this morning, I didn't ask for who it was going to be sent to. I just went with the traditional meanings of the cards until such time as the animal allies would tell me what group that the readings that particular card is for. And this might be a little bit crunchy, a little bit it might, like, if you got a really deep bruise and somebody touches it, you're like, wow. Okay. So this is for people who are mourning, like mourning, mourning, or feeling a bit sad or pensive, reflective on that they are not a parent. Not that they're not a parent, like apparently so, but a parent like a mom or a dad. Okay. Now, this is for people who have never had children, whether electively or not. And this is also for people who are estranged from their children. And so in that way, you're not their parent at this moment. I mean, you are, but you're not. Wow. Wowzers, 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 wowzers. Okay. So, wow. Okay. And then we're going to have fun. So I'm like, enough of this heavy stuff. We're going to have fun this morning. Your card is the pigeon, which is in the Moms and Babies expansion pack of the Ark. Now, when you take a look at pigeons, they're okay, Marcia, you have 2 children that have cut you out of their life. This is for you, baby doll. And anybody else that can receive this. So anybody who has never had children, and also for people who have children, but they're not in their lives or, okay. So all of that said, it's important. There's just no other way to say it. It's just important that you divest yourself of any negativity or any hurt feelings or anything like that, because you either are or about to become a mother in a way that you never expected. The only story that I can think of that's really gonna, you can get that, right? Like the most obvious things are maybe you're gonna adopt. Maybe to your nieces and nephews, you are a mom. Maybe, y'all, this is also for people that might be taking care of aging people in their family, aging parents, aging aunts, aging uncles, aging siblings, whatever, where you've actually become their mother. This is for you also. You either are doing it by virtue of being the mom in a situation where you're caring for somebody, and we could even say that can't care for themselves. Let's just say that, like literally can't, not that they're a bum or they're lazy or whatever, but they literally cannot care for themselves. Okay. So all of that said, hey, Larry, hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, buenos dias, senor. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you showed up. That's awesome. Kelly, you didn't miss anything. You're here at just the right time. So yeah, when the daughter becomes a mother to her mother, exactly, Axie. So this is for, again, people who never had children, for people who have children but you're estranged from them for whatever reason, or people that are caring for an elderly or a person that they can't care for, and you're in the mom position, right, or the dad position. And so, first of all, it's really important that you divest yourselves of any feelings of negativity, because again, for those who do not have children, oh, this is cool. Okay, and those who have children but you're estranged from them, that time is about to be done. As we say in the South, that's fixing to be over with. Meaning, if you're estranged, that's not going to last you very much longer. If you've never had children, you are either walking a path and you know it, or you're about to walk a path where you're going to be a mom. And that can mean a lot of different things. And here's the story to that. So years and years ago, literally when I was like 21 or 22, I waited tables at Red Lobster in Orlando, Florida. And in one day walks these 2 old boys toting their Bibles and their blue suits with their white shirts. They got sat at my table. And, they I never heard anybody pray so loud in my life, ever in my life. And then they started reading scripture to each other so loudly. I mean, they clearly wanted everybody to know they were Christians. Okay, we got it. Eat your damn shrimp. So at the end of their meal, I said, well, could I get you fellas anything else? And they said, well, could we talk to you? And I said, no, because you're going to tell me Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and this is a seafood restaurant. So they said, well, God gave us a message to give to you. And I said, okay. All right. So if I listen to your message from your God, will you go away? Yes. Excellent. We've made a good deal. Shoot, what you got? And they said, one day you're going to be a spiritual leader to millions of people. To which I responded, am. Have a good day, boys. And off I walked. Now, my language for spiritual leader at the time, because it was so many years ago, was Jerry Falwell, Benny Hinn, Jim and Tammy Faye Baker, those people. And I was not having any of that. And I didn't grow up in a spiritual or religious family or anything like that. So I just didn't even, and I didn't know anything about metaphysics at that time. So I just went on about my merry business. So few years back, maybe six years back or so, my sister and I were at lunch because we were celebrating that I had reached the over 1 million visits per month to my websites. That was a goal that I set when I started out doing internet publishing. So we were sitting there and I was like, I really think I was mid oyster on a cracker with horseradish and cocktail sauce. And gal had just brought me a fresh cold beer. And my sister goes, oh, Bernadette. And I was like, what? And she said, oh my gosh, those guys' prediction came true. I said, what are you talking about? She said, oh my God, we're in a seafood restaurant. Oh my God. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, do you remember those guys? She said, you've joked about it umpteen thousand times over the years. The two fellas that told you were going to be a spiritual leader to millions of people. Well, when she said that, it dawned on me what she was talking about. And we were in a seafood restaurant, the perfect place to remember that prophecy. Now, I want to be very, very, very clear. I'm not a leader of anything. And I certainly am not a spiritual leader. That's for dang Skippy, sure. Because I'll talk to you about some symbolism and some all of that, but the next words that come out of my mouth may not be so spiritual. So it's, but I do always have the best intentions. I really do. But that's the thing about this mother thing. You're fixing to come into a time where you're going to be the mom, and it's so important for you to be Mother Gaia, the quintessential mother. Now, I don't mean June Cleaver, in her little great appointed dress with a cupcake, ready to serve her children as they walk through the door. It's not like that. It's about seeing the needs of others, especially people who have difficult needs, and answering that call, because you can supply that, and it's going to fulfill some part of you that is mourning the loss of your children, or is already mourning the loss of this person that you're caring for, because they will have to be cared for forever, and their time is going to be a little more limited than the rest of our time theoretically would be. And you're already mourning the loss of that parent, that aunt, that whatever. So that is... that's a pretty big message, but it is Kelly, scripts and scripture. I am so stealing that. I'm going to call that story Scripts and Scripture. That is brilliant. High five to you, Kelly B. Scripts and Scripture. Can I get a witness? Who? All right. So, and y'all, don't anybody write me again. Somebody wrote me a couple of weeks ago, and now if it's not enough that people tell me I appropriate the Native American culture, which I do not. Now they were telling me I was appropriating the African American community because I can do every dialect there is. I was an acting coach for 25 years, y'all, and I happened to grow up in the South, and I happened to go spend weekends at my friends whose families happened to be, African American, and I went to their churches and all that, and if you were going to say what church, if you had to go to a church today, where'd you go? There are a couple here in town I'd go to. And I'd bring a big old bunch of food to eat afterward in the fellowship hall, and I'd go listen to some fabulous music and get up and dance and feel the power, and it would be fabulous. So all that being said, that is that's the thing about the parenting thing, and I'm going to move on because I don't even know what time it is. I don't really care. Oh, y'all, I'm way over time. No, I'm not. No, we started at 8. Okay, I'm good. Okay. Now, this almost has never happened to me. Maybe 2 or 3 times. But this is a message for the collective. This is a message for y'all, all of y'all. Lord, girl, I could do it. There isn't an accent I can't do. This is for the collective. And again, I've only ever been called on to do this maybe 2 or 3 times before. So the white buffalo, the Ace of Pentacles, came inverted. And while it's still a pretty amazing card to have, it's inverted. So when you what I was called to do was just flip it. And what that means is you're in a place where you're feeling earthbound is what I'm being told to say. Meaning you're just feeling earthbound instead of feeling like you're the stardust that you truly are or who you really are. And while I love to talk about, the woo-woo, the metaphysics, the esoteric, all that, even into, it makes me crazy when people think that occult teachings are all negative, black magic and all that. It's not true. But any of that, I refer to it as magic because it's fun, but make no mistake, the reason, well, I don't really know why, if I'm being straight up honest, I've asked a million times, I still don't have a clear answer, but I believe one of the reasons that the Animal Allies called on me to do the work that I do is because I've always looked into the science of psi to explain why we have these abilities and why we can do this, but it can't, it can't be replicated the same way every time, so on and so forth. But through all of that searching, through 30 something years of research, what I have absolutely come to believe, and I believe it, I will go to that great, wherever it is we go in the sky, believe in this, it's natural. And so the natural world is the world in which we are magical and we have healing abilities beyond what we, hey, Coyote Heart. Oh, you're on another show. Hey, what's your show? We want to know what your show is. Plop your link in there. That'd be cool. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you love my show. So, my show loves you. Actually, I love you, and all the Animal Allies do too, Coyote Heart. So, I refer to it as magic, but I apologize if it's misled any of you all, because while it is magical, it's not some hocus pocus. Some of us can do it and some of us can't. It's not like that. It's just not like that at all. And so I'm going to give you a case in point. Holy guacamole. So a friend of mine is drowning in credit card debt. And they've done it to themselves. It's the second time in their life they've done it. And if they don't get with the program and figure out a solution, they're going to ruin their credit again. They're going to be, I don't even know what will happen to them financially again. And, so they call me and I try to psych out for them. But I've been getting, instead of this is going to happen or this is not going to happen, I've been getting answers for them about how to make it better, fix it. And I'm not a financial advisor at all. That's why I have one of those, because I'm not, right? We're back to the math thing, right? We've already established Bernadette is numbers in me. It's not a thing. So the way out of it is a way it astonished me. The solution absolutely astonished me. But I asked that person what they had done to precipitate getting that kind of message. And they said, I set my goal that I want to be credit card debt free by the end of this year. However, it was going to happen as long as nobody was hurt. Nobody, not like I get a settlement from an accident or something awful happens, or it's not like that. And they went through their whole very specific list of things. So I was told to flip the white buffalo, because in any deck or in any animal symbolism, white buffalo is one of the top 3 most powerful, not because there's anything more special about a buffalo than there is any other animal, but because it's thought of by so many people as that special. And once so many people or one person thinks on it, it becomes, it's a thought form. It's real. So like snake, people know that when snake comes, and no matter how much it makes your skin crawl, that's a very powerful omen. And if you have a raven show up, well, my gosh, holy guacamole on that one too. So I was told to turn this around because you're feeling like you've lost the opportunity to get abundance. And this is about all abundance. If you think you're too old to find a true love, if you think you are not pretty enough, not tall enough, not this enough, not that enough, maybe you have yourself in some financial drama and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. This is just going to go badly. Hey, Dylan, none of those things are true. None of those things are true. And what that means is you haven't lost your opportunity. Now, let me be really clear about something. No one's giving you a pep talk here. The animal allies are not giving you a pep talk. They're not trying to be a life coach. Because there are people that they get to a certain crossroads and that's it. Nothing can be done for them. They've just got to go through hell. And what do we always say? If you're going through hell, keep going. Benjamin Franklin, I think it was Ben Franklin that said that. So Winston Churchill said that, I think. And if you're going through hell, keep going. But this is for the collective of right here, right now. You have not lost the opportunity to fix whatever this is. Now, it might take you some elbow grease. You might have to, roll up shirt sleeves and, get with the program, put some muscle, put some muscle into it. But it's salvageable. And not only is it salvageable, but it's going to come to you from unexpected ways and sources. And what that means is this. It's not my story to tell. I've told enough of the story about the person that's drowning in credit card debt. And I don't want to tell the story of how it came to be that this person is going to be able to get out of credit card debt almost immediately. And it doesn't have anything to do with anybody died in their family or they got an inheritance or anything like that. It is the craziest thing that you ever saw in your life. And yet it is so true. And so that was just by setting their intention. And if I'm being honest, just a lot of credit card debt for the average person. And just watching it be just wiped away by the universe. Now, this also doesn't include a bankruptcy or anything like that. This person will have to pay that money back, but can now do so in a manner that is comfortable, saves them on interest, saves this, saves that. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And so that's why I was told to turn the card around for you. This is not a pep talk. This is not a life coaching, because I'd be really bad at life coaching. This is about knowing that when you get to the end of the process, that if you'll just go through it, and that process may be, well, okay, that's awesome, Bernadette and the Spirit Animals, right? That's the name of my new band, Bernadette and the Spirit Animals. It is, okay, your spirit guides, your angels, your whoever, they will tell you, they will show you if you set the intention, but it's got to be specific. I mean, this person even gave a dollar amount. I want this gone by the end of this year, and here's what I don't want. It cannot happen because of this. It cannot happen because of this. It cannot happen because of this, right? Okay. So all of that said, it is about believing in the magic, but it's more about coming to know that you know that you know that this is a natural thing, that you can sit or you can walk or you can run or you can do whatever. You can go skydiving or scuba diving for all that matters, but get in touch with whoever it is you believe gives you messages and ask them to show you how to turn this card around. Because remember, originally it came inverted, but I was told to turn it upright for the collective. But you'll have your individual Ace of Pentacles, White Buffalo to turn around metaphorically, right? And you may even very well have the card, but you've got to turn it around and they will show you the way and they will help you through the way. As long as you turn your attention from it being magic, because when we do that, there's always a small percentage of us on the inside in our subconscious that's like, well, I set my intention. Oh, I can't look. Is it really going to happen? No, it's not going to happen when you do that. It absolutely is not. You've got a snowball's chance and you know what of that happening. But when you go about things that are natural, that just flow and you just know, then it all unfolds. Exactly, Tammy. Hey, Tammy Sprinkle. We all have the power. It's exactly. Oh my gosh. Yes, exactly. I mean, what's the best way to take control of people, to make them think they can't do for themselves, or they don't have control for themselves? It's, yeah. Don't get me started on that. That we'll be here till tomorrow talking about that stuff. So, oh yeah. Cool. Yeah, no problem. You're very welcome to share your group or whatever show you're in. Or, yeah, totally. I'm happy to do that. Oh my gosh, Axie, I just ordered. Again. I've given away so many copies of Course in Miracles. I might as well just order a whole box of them. Own Your Queendom. That's right, Nikki. So, Maureen, you can't plant a seed. There you go. You can't plant a seed, dig it up to check on it, and expect it to grow. Truer words, right? Now, that might seem like a duh. Okay, message for this morning. But for the collective, I'm telling you now, it's as deeply as I've ever felt this card, and that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. Because I've always had a very, not to White Buffalo. I mean, I know the story of White Buffalo, but it's a great story, and who doesn't want to see it? I'm set on seeing the spirit bears, the bears that are white. Which, by the way, can I just say this? I'm going to get back to the message in a minute. So I just read an article on, I don't know, one of the 5 million animal sites that I follow. There's now a hybrid called the Pizzly bears, because so many polar bears are trying to get to where it's colder, and so many grizzly bears are trying to get where it's warmer. They're meeting in the middle, and they're being hybrids, and now they're half polar and half grizzly. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we can't talk about the GW. I just stay away from all that kind of stuff on my channel, y'all. I wish I would, but I can't. I just can't subject you guys to those kind of conversations, and they never end well. But just so you know, there's now a thing called a Pizzly bear. So all of that being said, there is such a shift going on with this particular group. I believe you all can feel it. I do. And I believe that as a group, you all are starting to have your mindset and your heart even more anchored in the reality that your dreams can become, and a bunch of you have already started, and you're in shock at the things that have happened just by doing what you know is natural, what feels right to you. It's like my favorite thing is when people say, this is my favorite thing. Well, if you're working on unconditional love, you must have a rose quartz. Why is that? Why is that? Prove to me why that is. Because my favorite stone is polychrome jasper. I've got it all over my house. And nothing but nothing makes me love more than to pick this up and get in touch with every color that's in a polychrome jasper. And that's how I love. Through every color, through every age, through every this, through every that. And that whole light pink cotton candy thing, that's not for Bernadette. I'm a jewel tone person. Now you hand me pink, like serious pink, and I'm all about it. But that color doesn't resonate with me. And just because somebody at one time said rose quartz is what represents unconditional love, so what? That was one person, and who are they? This is the same kind of thing. It's not listening to the people that say, well, it has to be done this way, or it should be done this way, and if you don't do it this way, it's not going to happen for you. That is a bunch of malarkey. When I was working with somebody on their family stuff one time, a couple, 2-3 people had come from family, and they were all carrying bloodstones. I personally don't care for bloodstones. I don't know why. They just repel me. I don't know why. But in all the books everywhere, it reads that bloodstone is the stone of family units and trying to put the family together. But their reasoning for the family having problems had nothing to do. There were other stones that would have served a lot better. And 2 of those people felt the same way I did. They just didn't resonate with the bloodstone. They didn't even like to carry it because they didn't vibe with it. And so we talked through some other stones, and that's what they got. And they were happy as clams, and it all worked out magically, perfectly, right? Intentionally. So it is, yes, you can come work with me anytime. Believe me. Amy will tell you, Maureen will tell you, and Teapot will tell you, Joel will definitely tell you, be careful what you wish for. But yeah, it is how you program. That's totally. All right, Mary, take care. Love and light to you. Aw, thank you. So it is this whole thing about turning the buffalo around. Don't just sit with what the Ace of Pentacles is supposed to mean. You know, you got to remember that the Ace of Pentacles is the hand of God coming out of the sky, handing you every kind of wealth and abundance you could possibly want. So if it's relationship based, if it's health based, if it's whatever based it is, it come to it naturally and really do your level best to see that it's not magic. Because again, when you do, you're always like, oh, is it really going to work? Is it not really going to work? And that's not going to. Oh, kyanite. Oh, I've really been into kyanite lately, Lily. And I'm really not a crystals person. I get them. I totally get them. But I don't know. I'd rather talk to a dead person. I don't know what it is. But here's the thing. No, now I do have Moldavite by my computer so that it will help stop all of the low electronic magnetic frequencies. I'm very sensitive to that. But Michelle and Amy are having a conversation. I want to chime in on this. I too associate green with the heart and the heart and heart healing. Okay, totally get that. Your heart chakra is green, so that's fine and everything. But what in your heart chakra has to heal? Not all green stones are going to do the same thing. And what if you are looking to be able to be a person that really does experience the truest of unconditional love? What if that is a rose quartz for you? But traditionally we're taught to work with the heart, you're going to have a green stone. But I find that it depends. Like, let's say you need courage. Tiger eye. Are you kidding me? A tiger eye is one of the best things that you can have there. Absolutely it is. Maybe you need to clear stuff. Selenite is good for that, but clear quartz is always the best, whatever highest quality clear quartz you can get. There are all kinds of things, and there is no, let me just say this. So I was taking a Reiki class one time, right? And the gal that was teaching it, she would bring strangers in and have us do our Reiki thing on them. So she had this big old fellow look like Grizzly Dan come in one time. If y'all remember Grizzly Dan from that TV show. And he laid up on the table, and I went into my theta trance state. And all of a sudden, talking about the heart is what got me to this. So I got to his heart, and I started doing this. I started going, just pulling, and then I would like throw it away. And then I went and got the garbage pail. No joke, y'all. No joke. And people in class are looking at me, and this teacher is looking at me, and I went and I got the garbage pail, and I just kept pulling things out of his heart and putting them in the trash. He busted out in tears, and he had his eyes closed the whole time, but he busted out in tears. And the Reiki teacher, she said, stop. I was like, what? Because you don't do that. You don't interrupt an energy flow like that. That's just, don't do that. And he was just like this. And she said, that's not a Reiki treatment. And I said, says you, it's not a Reiki treatment. Why don't we see what he has to say? And he said, I felt like the bonds that I have put on my heart were being literally ripped out of my chest, literally yanked, like as if I had. And I said, okay, hold on. Let me just tell you what I saw, what I was ripping out. I said, I saw all kinds of leather straps with these big silver locks on them. And so what I was doing was I was ripping the leather strap because I wasn't ever going to unlock that lock. But I could get the locks out of there by ripping apart the leather strap. And I said, in black leather, by the way. And I said, and then I was told to just put them in the garbage because they're going to go out with the garbage. You don't need them anymore. And I said, but wow, I don't know that I've ever felt anybody have their heart in that much literal lockdown. This poor guy, he'd never done anything like this before. This poor fella. It was a neighbor of hers, and she convinced him to come to this class, not even preparing him for what could happen or nothing, right? Nothing. So he said, my divorce was so bad that I do envision my heart is wrapped up in leather straps and chains with locks on them, because no one's ever going to get in there, and they're never going to break it again. That's not ever going to happen to me again. It ruined me and ruined my life. And I said, well, I don't think it has ruined you, and I don't think it has ruined your life. I think that's what you believe. And I said, but I'd be very, very interested to know if a week from now you feel the same way. So that was a really unusual way of doing a Reiki session. But what it proved to me was there's about 1 billion different ways to do things. And right about the time that some teacher says this is the right way, I head for the door. I'm not interested, because they are a one-dimensional teacher, and they're not there to teach. They're there to preach. And there's a big difference between teaching and preaching. When someone teaches, this is my opinion, I can't prove this. When someone teaches, I feel it is incumbent upon them to get whatever they're teaching across to the student in whatever manner that student needs to or can receive it. Oh my God, that's a little bit of effort. Wham. Okay, come on now. That's what the best teachers do, in my opinion. So before y'all run out there willy-nilly, this is hearkening back again to the White Buffalo and the Ace of Pentacles. Before y'all run out there, yeah, Lily, right? Before y'all run out there, yeah, exactly, Amy. When they say only way, forget it. I'm out the door. Oh God, what's that song? Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. In Vogue. That's it. Never gonna get it. I like to jam on the dance floor to that song. So anyway, so thus ends the gospel for today, but it really wasn't the gospel, because it literally was the card saying turn yourself around, or turn this card around. Okay. So getting here in our last time together, if you guys want to jet me some questions, like oh, you know what? I had like 9 or 10 people ask me this past week. I was like, really? So there are teachers out there that will tell you that your tarot deck can only that you'll only be a real tarot reader if your tarot deck was gifted to you by a tarot master. Okay, first of all, y'all, there aren't enough. Who's a tarot master? You know, I have my own barometer for that, and I call some people tarot masters, but I have deep personal knowledge of their accuracy. That's all I base it on. And I also have deep personal knowledge on their commitment to clients, because if I had a nickel for every reader I've ever seen who's been like, yes, my gift, and they really feel like they're doing you a favor if they're reading for you, and they're more invested in what they come across like, or being right, or it's all about them. So besides, even if there were a barometer or a test that could tell us what tarot masters are, y'all aren't going to believe this. The bear card came out. You can't even believe it. This is nuts. This is just nuts. So, there's no one way to do things. And if you're in a dither about which tarot deck to get, just get on Amazon or any of the other sites, or go to your nearest metaphysical store and just look through some decks and see which ones call to you, because they will call to you. They absolutely will call to you. John Holland has this great deck. I can't remember the name of it. I have 2 friends that read with that deck. I think I've mentioned it before. They are so connected with that deck. It is scary accurate, the stuff that they give. I can't use the deck. When I pick it up, it burns hot in my hands. It burns my hands, so I don't use it. It's not meant for me. So all that said, okay. Who has questions? Psychic Tarot. Oh, that's it. Yes, Amy. John Holland's deck is the Psychic Tarot. And by the way, when you talk about good teachers, let me just give a shout out to John Holland. I have had the good fortune to take several of his classes. And man, he is such an excellent teacher and an even better medium. I got to tell you, John Holland is the real deal. I just admire him so much. They do call you Maureen. Okay, so who has any questions? Anybody got? I know. I don't. I'm like I. Okay, so the Bear, the Queen of Pentacles came out as the last pull, and I feel kind of weird about it coming out because I mean you guys know my thing about bears, and but here's the thing: the Ace of Pentacles was just out, and now the Queen of Pentacles is out, and the Bear. That's a big. Hey Rebecca, how are you? Anyway, so y'all know what bear means, and you can look up Queen of Pentacles, but it's just another reinforcement to the Ace of Pentacles. Did the Virgo? Rebecca, I almost want to ask you which Virgo. I feel like either you've had a couple Virgos in your life, or you're a dual sign, like a Libra or a Pisces or a Gemini. But there's a 2 thing in there. Yes, I do think that person had feelings for you, but not the kind you were looking for. Meaning, I just feel like this person thought of you as prey, someone who could give them value for whatever they needed or whatever you could do for them, but not because it was you. It was what you could do for them. I'm sorry. I know you want to hear something different. So the answer is yes, but the reasoning is not great. So all that said, what do you mean you're about to have a breakthrough with your mediumship? You're already a medium, Haley, and a good one. You breakthrough what? Australia. I'm living in a land down under. Okay, I have my first building clearing on Thursday. Any advice or precautions to take? Summer rain. Yeah. Summer, I don't know what this building is that you're clearing. I get the feeling that it's tall, or the ceilings are tall, or maybe it, obviously it might be more than a couple of stories, but something not great happens at the top. I keep hearing it not great happens at the top. And so that it can either be the building itself. Like, let's say that there's a building and people go out on the roof to smoke or drink, or maybe hinky stuff has happened up there. And so, or at the top might mean the person in charge that owns the building, or the person in charge of the business in the building. But I'm being told for you to keep looking up, start at the top. That's going to take the most of your energy, and then work your way down from there. Hey, Natasha. Bookend numbers. Hold on. Let me go back up here. I'm trying to take these in order. Will my elderly father sell his house and move close to me this summer? Didn't we talk about that before, Amy? Or was it somebody else? It might be a little closer to the fall, Amy Schumann. I feel like for whatever reason, his house is not going to sell quite as fast as you all might think. But I do feel the price is solid. It's nothing to, it's nothing to celebrate about or go to Vegas about, but it'll be a very solid number. And it's almost like maybe even the first people that see it, or maybe in the first 2 or 3 people that see it will get it. But I feel that's more towards fall time. Okay, Michelle, how do I deal with the situation with my parents? I don't know that you're supposed to. When people ask me about how am I supposed to deal with something, that implies that they are obligated to take an action. And you are not obligated, but you don't know that. You're not obligated. And it's almost as if you, I'll give you, for instance, I had somebody write me the other day about Kickstarter and giving me roo-raz about the add-ons, whatever. I didn't even address in my email back to this person, I didn't even address her cutting remarks, her accusation. I just wrote her back with a solution to her problem. Don't you know? Not only did she buy the book, but she bought the ARC and a whole bunch of other stuff. Because why would I go there? I ignored it like it didn't happen, and it didn't mean anything, because it didn't mean anything to me. I don't get down in the fray with people. They can spin all they want. I don't address it. I pass by it like it's not even there. And that's what I'm being told for you is pass by it like it's not even there. It is for them, but you're going to have a much better outcome for everybody if you don't get down in the fray. You just do what needs to be done, almost like in a mechanical way. You just do what needs to be done, and that's it. And whatever the rest of the skirmish is, it's gonna die down. It's just gonna go away. It's just gonna go away. Okay. Haley, I know. He's so awesome. Russian gypsy fortune telling. Oh my, yeah, okay. Okay, so let me get down to the, I hope that's helpful. Hey, Natasha B. Scratch the question. Okay. Bookend numbers. I don't know what that means, bookend numbers. I'm not sure, Marie. Can you clarify what that means, bookend numbers? Oh, take care, Sylvie. Ah, okay, Rebecca, that makes sense. Okay. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Kathy. I know you're just joining us, and I hope you'll understand that I'm going to get with the people who've been here, like, waiting for a while. But I do lives every Tuesday and Thursday, so hopefully I can get to you, but I can't promise that. Okay. Ah, yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. How do you heal a locked down heart? Hey, Nellick. That is a much longer answer, because there's just like we were talking about earlier, there's no one size fits all. And I'd have to know if you're talking about yourself or you're trying to heal something in somebody else. Don't do that unless they've asked you to do it. It will never go well for you. Okay, Amy, that makes sense. Yeah, Amy, I don't think you moving to that other state, that's not going to happen, and it won't be good for you or him, actually. Pearl, will my mom take notice if I tell her how two of my brothers are acting, or will they still be her little boys to protect? You actually, it will go in a way that you hadn't imagined, Pearl, which is she will look at you like you're still a 9-year-old tattletale. It won't be about the boys at all. It'll be about you. So I don't know what that is with her, but she's got a thing. But what you would want to happen will not happen, and it'll I just see it flying back in your face when you're actually trying to do her a favor and trying to do a good thing, is what I'm hearing. She won't see it that way. Okay, I've got just another couple minutes. I gotta go. Asking permission to do nothing. Do you want to know that I heard? Oh, excellent. Okay, good, Michelle. Okay, one more and then I gotta go, y'all. Kimberly Lennon. Healing up the arm after my wing had surgery. There's a radical hysterectomy. This is after, is there anything in my future? Yeah, the last two cards were about that, which was the Buffalo, the Ace of Pentacles. That was for everybody. It is no joke. Like, when it comes to finances and abundance, this is one of the two most amazing cards that you can get. Now, having said that, let me say this. I feel like you're supposed to stretch out of your comfort zone in your career. You're either going to go into another realm of what you do, like a second leg to it. Like, let's say you're a financial advisor. Instead of doing, I don't know anything about money, financial advising, but instead of doing, let's say, stocks and bonds, you might move to mutual funds. Or let's say that you work in a bank, but I don't know what you do in a bank, but then you want to move to mortgages. It's going to be something like that, but you're going to have to be willing to do the stretch. Thank you, Nikki. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Nikki, for the donation. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. And so, Amanda, I would love to, in the time. Okay, I've got it. I'll be back to you in just a second, Marie. Amanda, I really shy away from questions like that unless it's in private, because I have to ask the details about someone's safety. I've got to be sure I'm on the right energetic path before I give any information. And I don't know that this is an appropriate venue, but if you email me, I'll see what I can get for you. Okay, Marie Falvey. 323, 404. Okay, I get that, but I still don't know what you mean about on bookends. So maybe you're talking about, I don't know what you mean about bookends, but yeah, if you're seeing repeating numbers, that's straight up angel numbers. I really believe that. No, Dylan, your ex is not being straight up with you. You know that. Well, your ex thinks they're being straight up with you, but they're not. They're not. They're straight up for like a half a second and then not. Should I have someone else helping with my marketing? Yes, you absolutely should. Lisa, your energy strikes me as being a very lovely, very smart person, but you're not good at marketing, and you're just not. It's not what you don't understand it. It's not that you don't like it. I think you'd like to learn about it, but you don't understand it, and it takes a very particular mind to be really good at marketing, because most marketing is about you throw money at people and they can't give you quantifiable results. And that's not, whatever business you're in, that's not going to be helpful. You need to have hard up numbers. You need to have straight up numbers. Okay. All right. I love you guys very much. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday morning. Please don't forget the Kickstarter is still live for 4 more days. The more money we can get in there, the more I can print for you all, and the more other things that I can do for you all, meaning some add-ons that I'd like to put in there if we get to a certain place, and I don't want to put it out there yet because I'm not sure I can do it. But also remember that anything you donate, I've pledged $5,000 of the profits of my book to go to animal charities that fight to prevent cruelty to animals. And I've already given away 3 of those $1,000 because they were in really desperate need. And I knew it wasn't going to be magic. I knew I could trust that naturally we would get to the stretch goals we wanted to get to and all the goals. And so there you go. So, all right. Oh, thank you, Dylan. Thank you for the plug. I appreciate it. So I love you guys. What are the most important things from today? To do good for animals, including yourself, and to stay wild. Bye, everybody.